us with the invocation.
Heavenly Father, as we come tonight, we do with thanksgiving, Lord. We humble ourselves before you. Lord, I know that there are many things in my life that I need your help for, Lord, and I know that there are many in our community, certainly many in our country, that are just pouring out for help, Lord. And you know that help and you know what's needed, Lord. I just ask that those needs be met. Lord, I ask you help us to liberate tonight's business, the awesome responsibility placed before us by the constituents in the village of Lake Park, that we can honor each other and respect each other, deliberate that business, and move forward in an honorable and professional way in a manner that pleases you, Lord. Lord, I pray for those that protect us, Lord. I just ask you, please bless fire, police, EMS, Lord, all of our country's guardsmen that are looking out for our country, Lord, on our soil and abroad, Lord, that you just keep them safe and bring them home. Lord, there is no doubt that this country remains divided, Lord, and it's for sure that we just need to open our hearts, open our minds, Lord. I just ask you bless us all, Lord. Lord, I ask you forgive us of our sins and the times we fall short of your glory, Lord, as we know from your saying, there is none good, no, not one. Lord, I pray all this in Jesus' name and for his sake. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Jeremy. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have no one in council chambers this evening, and no one has sent in any public comment. So we'll move on to item number 5, which is the approval of the minutes from the February 9th, 2021 regular session. Cherie sent those out in your packet. Is there a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Okay, I heard Pam. Pam made the motion. Was there a second?
Jim seconds.
Jim seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by stating your name and A or nay.
Pam Jack, yay.
Jim Record, yay.
Joe Scaldera, yay.
Jeremy Russell, aye.
Bruce Barton, yay.
The motion is carried. You also have received the agenda for this evening. There was a late change that Cherie sent out this afternoon or this morning. We added, after ordinance review, we added planning board as item number 15. Are there any other requested changes to the agenda? If not, is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Joe has made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Bruce seconded. All those in favor signify by stating your name and A or nay.
Pam Jack, yay.
Jim Record, yay.
Joe Scaldera, yay.
Jeremy Russell, yeah.
Bruce Barton, yay.
Motion is carried. Okay, moving on to item number 7, security report. Deputy Austin is on duty this evening, but because of a Zoom meeting, he is not in attendance. The security reports were sent out in your packet. Are there any questions or comments about the security reports?
No questions or comments.
Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 8, Park and Recreation. At the February Park and Recreation meeting, P&R approved the Piranha swim team for the use of the pool for 2021. They are going to have an abbreviated season, which will wrap up, I think, at the end of June. And they will not have any meets after that. Park and Rec also approved the pool rates and hours for 2021. Pool rates, decision was made to keep the pool rates the same as of last year. We did add one additional category which is a single parent with 2 children. We currently had a rate for a single parent with 1 child. So we added another rate in between there for a single parent with 2 children. And after that, it becomes more economical to go to a family rate. For hours, the approved hours were that we would open on Friday night and Saturday night until 9 o'clock. And that we would close Sunday evening at 6 o'clock. Otherwise, the hours remain the same. DNR approved the replacing of the motor in the south clock tower fountain. The motor is still running, but Carolina Pool Management said that it's starting to fail. So we have gotten 1 quote for that, and we're reaching out to get a second quote on it. Also approved the addition of 4 shrubs to the Matheson Square planter on the east corner of Matheson Square, and approved a tree to be located where a tree died several years ago outside the Lake Park Cafe in between the benches. So we will be planting a crepe myrtle in that location. We received 2 quotes to repair some of the erosion down at Connie's Pond. Lucas Landscaping was the low bidder on that at $1,175. They're going to put Bermuda sod down in that bare space at the end of the sidewalk. The existing Bermuda sod stopped short of going all the way down to the end. So we do need a motion from council to approve the quote from Lucas for $1,175 to repair the erosion at Connie's Pond.
I'll make a motion to approve the repairing of the erosion on Connie's Pond for $1,175 to Lucas.
Pam Jack has made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Jim Record seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by stating your name and A or nay.
Pam Jack, yay.
Jim Record, yay.
Joe Scaldera, yay.
Jeremy Russell, yeah.
Bruce Barton, yay.
Motion is carried. Park and Rec events. The February blood drive was a success. I think they had 25 people that signed up, and they did collect 21 pints of blood. The Red Cross was very pleased with the turnout for that. And they've requested to have additional blood drives in the month of May, August, and October, and Park and Rec did approve that. The exact dates are to be determined. We also have a hygiene kit drive for Union County Homeless Shelter underway. You've seen some of the information posted on the Lake Park website as well as the Lake Park Facebook page. There are some banners that have been ordered and will be put up in different locations around the village. And we're already starting to get donations for that. Okay, moving on to item number 9, the NC DOT Title VI. As you'll recall, this is a requirement that is needed for us to receive federal funding for things like Powellville. It's a non-discrimination policy, and Sheree and Mr. Swain have been working on the wording for the resolution. The resolution was included in your packet. It's resolution 2021-R-1. Are there any questions or any discussion about the village adopting that resolution and the supporting paperwork that goes with that? If not, is there a motion to approve resolution number 2021-R-1?
Jeremy, I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2021-R-1.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Jim seconded. Any discussion?
Only point of discussion, Mayor, I'd like to thank Cherie and Mr. Swain. It's a lot of information that took them a while, and it was a lot of work, and I appreciate it.
Very good. Okay. All those in favor of adopting resolution 2021-R-1 signify by stating your name and your name.
Pam Jack, yay.
Jim Record, yay.
Joe Scaldera, yay.
Jeremy Russell, yay.
Bruce Barton, yay.
Motion is carried.
Mayor,
Excuse me?
now that it's passed, Mayor, one of
Yeah.
the suggestions that I had was I think you probably need to post it somewhere on your website and in the Village Town Center, the policy, okay? I think Cherie knows what I'm referencing.
Okay. Yeah, we will do that. And Sheree, is that something you want to post down on the kiosk?
Yes, sir, we can post that on the website. My only question, Ken, okay, we made the motion on the resolution. Do we need a separate one for the policy statement?
I think it would be good to do it on all of them, yeah.
Each individual form, or just the resolution and the policy? Because then the form,
Right, the form follows with the policy.
okay.
So we need a separate motion then for the Title VI non-discrimination policy statement?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the Title VI non-discrimination policy statement?
I make a
Jeremy.
motion to approve the Title VI policy statement.
Okay, Pam has made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Bruce has seconded. Any discussion about that? All those in favor signify by stating your name and a or nay.
Pam Jack, yay.
Jim Record, yay.
Joe Scaldera, yay.
Jeremy Russell, yay.
Bruce Barton, yay.
Motion is carried. Thank you, Ken, for
Yes, sir. Cherie, let me know if you have any issues with the state or DOT, all right?
All right, moving on to item number 10, the finance officer's report. Cheryl?
Okay, you have the February financial reports, and we're doing good. The sales tax is coming in ahead of budget, over budget, which is good. And we look good on all of our expenditures. During the month, I did make a budget amendment. I moved $400 from communications/newsletter and moved 100 to the audit and 300 to bank charges. I think probably most of you have gotten your letter in the mail from Union County about your new valuations of your homes. And if you haven't, you can also go online, and there is a link there where you can see what your new value is. I did have a question about the revenue neutral tax rate, and usually in April, I can't say whether it'll be towards the beginning of the month or not, but the Union County will send us the information about what the aggregate values are for Lake Park. And at that point, when I have that information, then I can compute the revenue. I do a revenue neutral spreadsheet, and I can compute the revenue neutral tax rate. So that will be upcoming. And I don't know if you want to set a date yet for the budget session or not.
Yeah, I think it'd be good. We're looking somewhere in the last half of April, perhaps.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. If everyone could pull out their calendars, take a look at your availability the last couple weeks of April. Typically, we would do it the last week in April.
We usually do it on Wednesday.
Usually the Tuesday after P and R, but
Yeah,
That's the 27th.
yes. And usually start at 6:30 PM. Is everyone free on Tuesday, April 27th?
Fine with me.
No problem here.
I'm good.
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 I'm out of town that week until the 29th, but I wouldn't, you don't have to hold it up for me. And I'm out of town for a conference that could be delayed, but the conference is right now showing that week. So I would not ask you to move it based on my availability.
Well, do we want to look at the previous week?
20th.
Yeah.
20th is planning board, so it would
Okay.
either have to be Monday or Wednesday.
I'm free either night.
Pardon?
I am free either night.
I am too.
Yeah, I'm all right also.
I'm good. Wednesdays at 6:30 are a little tough for me. 7 would be better, but
We could do it at 7. I don't know that there's
or Monday's fine too.
anything fixed about 6:30. Do we
I'm not
want
sure
to,
when I'll get the information from the county as far as the values to work with revenues.
Would we be better served maybe to go out to May the 3rd or 5th, or even the 4th? Any day that week before council meets the following week? Just not knowing, the county's already pushed where usually tax bills go out in July. They said in the information they posted, tax bills will go out in September. So I'm a little concerned about us having those numbers, which we'll have to have for budget.
okay, everybody look at your calendar for Tuesday, May 4th.
Okay, here.
Good.
Okay.
Fine with me.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm fine. And seriously, Mayor, don't, if that other week works better, because the conference I'm supposed to go to is in New York. And the group that's running it has already delayed their conference in Florida. So I look for it to be moved, but I'm fine that week of the 4th. It's fine with me too.
Yeah, and because of the tax information, that may be the better choice anyway. So why don't we put on your calendars Tuesday, May 4th? And is there a preference for 6:30 or 7 PM?
I'm good with either time.
Tuesdays are fine for me at 6:30.
6:30 is fine.
Okay, let's set it for 6:30.
And then, of course, I need to get budget information as soon as it's available from everyone for whatever accounts you are involved with. Park and Rec and the committees and electric and so forth and so on. So whenever you have it, just email it to me.
Okay. Anything else, Cheryl?
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We have item number 11, tax refund. Cherie?
Yes, sir. I am just requesting tax overpayment that we do need a motion to refund $34.40.
And that was a duplicate payment, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve a tax refund of $34.40 to
Yeah,
Martin
motion to,
Gallegos?
yeah, motion to approve. Well, motion to.
Jim has made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll
I'll second
second.
it, Joe.
Joe has seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by stating your name and A or nay.
Kim Jack, yay.
Jim Record, yay.
Joe Scaldera, yay.
Jeremy Russell, yay.
Bruce Barton, yay.
Motion is carried. Okay, moving on to item number 12, stormwater, Sheree.
Council, I sent out to you some information on the Normandy Pond stabilization. If you've been down to that pond, you will notice that there's severe shoreline erosion, and the bank needs to be stabilized similar to the work that we did at Lake Charles last year. And the village has received a quote from Eagle Engineering for $15,600 to provide the following services for the Normandy Pond stabilization: physical and topographical survey and mapping, construction documents, bid phase services, and construction phase services, all of which they provided at Lake Charles. Mayor Cleveland and I have talked with both Foster Lake and Pond, who did the front entrance pond, and Lucas Lawn and Landscaping, who did Lake Charles, concerning the scope of work. Both firms feel that the Normandy Pond stabilization project can be done without engineering drawings. The water level of the pond would be dropped 2 to 3 feet prior to construction activities. The shoreline would then be graded to repair erosion and create a smooth surface for riprap installation. The approximate 1,225 feet of bank would be covered with a non-woven fabric and Class B riprap. All disturbed areas would then be seeded and covered with straw. A ballpark for the stabilization is $29,000. Foster Lake and Pond has also brought to our attention the need to address the eroded inlets at Normandy Pond. The existing brush and saplings along the inlets would be removed and hauled off site, and the area would be graded to ensure proper slope and elevation. Concrete and hydraulic cement would be used to seal the gap between the inlet pipe and the head walls. Until we get in there, we will not know if any additional work will be needed. And the estimated cost for doing that work in addition to the shoreline stabilization is $3,400. The total cost of the project with engineering is estimated at approximately $46,000. I'm requesting direction from council concerning whether or not we should undertake this project without employing Eagle Engineering Services. If so, we would be responsible for generating the bid documents and overseeing this project. I need to know what is council's, I need your guidance.
How much is it without the engineering costs are what, Sheree?
Engineering costs are $13,600.
And they take care of mapping it out, what's to be done right,
Yeah,
and
they
they
go
do
out and
everything.
survey and do all the slopes and topographical, tell them how far to drop the water and everything.
How are we doing with our stormwater funds this year?
We're spending them. If you-
Oh, just give me, I mean, are we good with it, or
I'm sorry.
are we, are we about where we usually are at this time? Well, of course, we only have a few months left in this budget year.
Yes, I mean, we've got funds according to the balance sheet restricted for stormwater. Cheryl, this is correct if I'm reading it, 70,276.
Yes, that's correct. We have
27.
plenty of money in the fund balance.
So we've got money to do the project.
I personally think it's good to have somebody that knows what they're doing behind the project and will follow through and make sure that it's done right. The last thing we want is for them to put the wrong stuff in, which happened, I think, once before, and we have to tear it up and redo it.
Okay.
I agree with Pam on that. I think it was right when, before I started on council, when we started the Lake Charles project, and we have an issue with that with some materials that were improper.
We
The
did.
The fabric, that
that
was
was
the
put
wrong
down.
fabric that was put down.
So I'm for having, using Eagle Engineering, spending the extra for that.
Yeah, I agree. It's, better to be safe and know it's all done properly than to find a mistake down the road.
How
Then
much was the engineering, Sheree?
the engineering is 13,600. Then we would need a motion to approve the engineering drawings for this project at this point.
So Sheree, so are you just asking for an approval for 13.6, or are you looking for an approval for the whole 46?
At this point, I'm just looking for approval of the 13.6 because the figure of 29,000 for the stabilization is just a ballpark. So we ought to be able to get an exact on that number, and then we'll add in additional, we can budget over that for the inlets.
All right. So with approval for up to 14,000 from stormwater to approve engineering plans for Normandy Pond work?
Yes, sir.
I'll second that.
Okay, Jim has made the motion to spend up to $14,000 for engineering for the Normandy Pond shoreline stabilization, and Pam Jack has seconded. Any additional discussion? All those in favor signify by stating your name and A or nay.
Pam Jack, yay.
Jim Record, yay.
Joe Scaldera, yay.
Jeremy Russell, yeah.
Bruce Barton, yay.
Motion is carried.
We only have 18,000 budgeted in engineering fees, so we need to move $1,000 for that. You can move it out of the repair and maintenance services if you would like.
Okay. Well, we have, I mean, it's 13.6. You said we have 18 in there?
Right, even if it's 13.6, will be 334 over, but they approved up to 14,000. So.
I thought you said there was 18,000.
There is in the account, but we've already spent 4,700.
Okay, that's.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So Cheryl, state what the motion is that we need.
Amend the budget to move 1,000 from the repair and maintenance services to the professional fees engineering.
Okay, is there a motion to do that?
Jim, I put a motion to move the 1,000.
I'll second.
Okay, Jim has made the motion, as Bruce has seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by stating your name and A or nay.
Pam Jack, yay.
Jim Record, yay.
Joe Scaldera, yay.
Jeremy Russell, yeah.
Bruce Barton, yay.
Motion is carried. Thank you for pointing that out, Cheryl.
Sure.
The only other thing on stormwater, I just wanted to let y'all know is that the Alden Pond and Founders Park sinkholes have been repaired. And we were able to do the work at Founders Park without having to remove the fence and mulch and all. So we spent $3,000 there, which was what we originally approved.
Okay, good. Anything else on stormwater?
No, sir, that's it.
Okay. Moving on to public services, streets and sidewalks. Bruce?
The HOA has requested that we close Meeting Street on the 17th for document shredding for the villagers.
Okay.
That'll be Wednesday, middle of the week.
I don't think we know at this point whether they want the entire street closed or just part of it. They may be able to get by with just closing the east end up to the circle, which would mean that we could leave this part of in front of the Lake Park Cafe open and around the circle. But why don't we entertain a motion to close all or part of Meeting Street for that event on April 17th.
Move that we close all or part of Meeting Street, whatever we need to close for the document shredding on April 17th.
Pam has made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Bruce has seconded. Any discussion?
Is that gonna be from 9 to 5, or what is the time for that? I'm curious.
We've not seen any times on that I'm aware of.
Yeah,
That
We
will
sort-
be coming out.
you certainly won't close it any longer than we have to.
I'm just curious of what
Yeah.
we're looking at for times on that. And that's from craft to craft.
I'll send an email to Caitlin and see if there's a time on that, because I have to email her something else to put in the villager.
Okay,
Okay.
let's see. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by stating your name and your name.
Pam Jack, yay.
Jim Record, yay.
Joe Scaldera, yay.
Jeremy Russell, yeah.
Bruce Barton, yay.
Motion is carried. Bruce, back to you.
We've got the streets that are in need of repaving. We've put bids out to 3 different companies, and hopefully we'll have them back. Let's hope by the April meeting, so we can review them and make a decision from there. And going to be repaving sections of Creft, sections of Lake Park Road, and forgive me, I forget the name of the
Thistle
street.
Alley.
Thank you, Thistle Avenue. Alley. I always forget that one for some reason. I should think of Whistle, then I'll remember Thistle. So, so I know we put out the red clay, and my mind is failing me.
H&S Paving and I think it's Carolina.
Right.
Asphalt.
Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay. So hopefully they get back to us before the April meeting, and then we can discuss it further.
Okay. Thank you, Bruce.
No problem.
Moving on to Public Services Waste Collection, Jim.
I've got no bad news to report at all.
Any good news?
They're still collecting.
Okay. All right, Joe, anything on lighting?
Like Jim, I don't have any bad news except for just having a little bit of hard time getting to some of the lights that need some work. Hopefully weather's getting much better on me. I've done a few of them. I have some light bulbs ordered for some of the areas that we need it, and be working on the kiosk soon. Has the leak been, any attention been taken to the leak in the kiosk? Or?
Yeah, I went down there and took that panel off, and what I found was that each panel is individually sealed. And so I really don't think it has anything to do with the roof. And I've asked Angie to go ahead and put some documents in that panel and see if it is indeed leaking. But if it is leaking, it has to do with the panel itself. Because when you take it out, each panel is completely independent, and each panel should be sealed by itself. So we should know the next time we get some rain whether we get some water in there or not. I did want to ask you on the lighting. When I was working on it, I was kind of looking at where we would put lighting and how we would do it. What is your thought, Joe, on should we put lighting there or not? Is it something necessary? Will it add to it? Or
I think as long as we can cosmetically do it, it would be nice to have. It would look very nice. And as long as we can get a solar panel in there that's going to look cosmetically good on the top face of it to charge the battery, I think it'd be a good idea. If we can't, then probably not.
Okay. All right, I just didn't want you putting a lot of time and effort into that if it's going to be either difficult to come up with a solution or if it really is something that would not be of benefit to the kiosk.
I think it would be if we could, and it would, give a little bit of show of our renewable energy resources.
Okay.
Show that we're green.
Okay. All right, well, continue to explore that then. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item number 14, ordinance review. Jim?
Okay, can I share my screen? And
You should be able to go to the bottom and
Yep.
press share screen.
yes. And
Do I have to stop sharing in order for that to work? Maybe, no, guess not.
nope, so you can see my screen here?
Yes.
Okay, so
You overrode you.
I'm showing something here. This is Attorney Swain, I did send this to you not too long ago, 15 minutes ago, maybe. So you have it. This is a draft. This is not a final. This is something to discuss and talk about, and I have a few things to talk about tonight. So this is a charter to establish an ordinance review commission. I've made this when I wrote this. I can see my. When I wrote this, it was written that it was going to be a commission and it was going to stay. And on top of that, coming down here, it would be granted a line item in the budget amount for an annual budget purpose. Now, I'm putting that in here to say that if we're going through, we're going to renew our ordinances and look at things, there's going to be attorney cost. So this will be, we're putting something in place for this that would go and take care of any attorney fees. Additionally, when I was going out to take a look, and I'm just going to drop this out here, because I just wanted to talk about this, that this is happening, here this is going. And this ordinance was based upon the Communications Commissions, how it was drafted, and I just was writing it based upon that and putting in things. And again, this is a draft, and Attorney Swain can fix things that need to be addressed here to bring it forward. So I'm not asking for council to approve this at all tonight. But as I was going through and taking a look at what other towns have, there are two that I come across. One is MuniCode, and for North Carolina, going through, these are all the communities that use the service called MuniCode for their towns to do all the ordinances. They put it in a form, and I'll bring the form up here in a second here that has MuniCode.
Jim, are you talking about codifying ordinances?
This is about putting it into a draft. It is codifying it as well. It's putting it all through. It does go through their attorneys. They do a lot of work on saying, hey, this is your town. This is what we believe you should have it. The committee would go through and take a look at things. There are a lot of ordinances that other towns have that we do not have. And this is all putting it into a software that would be put out on our website. This service, MuniCode, and another one, American Legal Publishing Corporation, Weddington and Waxhaw use MuniCode. Marvin uses the American Legal Publishing Corp. They're very, very similar in how they present, and it puts it in a document. And you can see, well, this is Waxhaw, and I'm just looking. You got nuisances here that has come up. What a nuisance is, definitions, administration. This one is, again, this is Waxaw, which is Municode. It's a very good service of putting things through. The way it's put forth, scrolling up here, you can see that it's all brought forth, coming out, what is the town, how's the town, what's it elected. It brings forth a complete overview of all our ordinances, of what we need, the town, how it's organized, everything. And like I said, a lot of the towns use these two services, is probably making up a very large percentages of towns that have stuff like this published to their websites. I did talk with Municode, and at a very, very rough ballpark figure, you know, they think it's going to be probably around 300 pages. And that could be running anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000 for a project to do. Ongoing maintenance, if we wanted to update all these things, we could do that. And then there's a maintenance fee for buying that software and having that, or we could pay, it's approximately $400 a year for them to do it, plus $20 per page that gets updated. Again, I'm just throwing this out here to tell, giving all of council of information that I'm finding. I'm not saying we need to go down this road, but going through and taking a look at it and understanding it, and it's all being presented very similar across towns, and our own ordinances would be presented very similar across. It seems like a way to go, but I don't know what council appetite is for this. Do we want to keep our things separated as we do today? Is that work for us? Or do we want to go down this road? And again, then that becomes down to a chartered, as I wrote, a chartered commission, reporting, taking minutes, and it just stays there and has a budgeted item for paying these things across. So I just want to open it up right now to the council for discussion.
Jim, I'm confused. I didn't realize that last time that I thought we just we just wanted to establish a committee to review all the ordinances and put them in order. I didn't understand that we were going to establish an ongoing commission to do this. That's not what my understanding was. And maybe I completely missed the bucket.
Well, my understanding was we needed to establish a commission to go through and review the ordinances, understand, rewrite what would needed to be rewritten, create anything that's new that we believe we need to do, put that all in front of the council. And then, if the council says, yes, we want to go down with those recommended changes that the commission would put forth, then it would, have to go for, approval across an open meeting.
But
Yes.
is this commission need to be something that's in place, that it's one that we have to establish a commission for? Or I thought we were just having a committee to do this work.
So this is where I'm coming, like I said, this is what I was going through and checking out different towns, what they have, what's going on compared to what we're doing, knowing we needed work on our ordinances and finding out, hey, this is how they're doing things. So this is where I said, okay, I had to charter something. So I put it, when I wrote this, it was to charter it for a full commission. I'm asking, like I said, I was coming in asking council's appetite here.
Oh, I'm not sure we need a full commission to do this. I think it's maybe a once and done, and when we have to revisit them with a problem, we revisit them. But once they're in the order that you want them to be, they should be in pretty good shape for years to come. Mr. Swain, what do you think?
Well, I'm familiar a little bit with Municode just in terms of looking up when I have other matters going on where I have to look up the code provisions in other jurisdictions. They tend to be associated with larger jurisdictions, jurisdictions that have more ordinance codes in place with more minutia. I think it's kind of a matter of, as Mr. Recker said, it's a matter of what your appetite's for. Is it just to, simply see if you can gain uniformity in regards to how the ordinances appear and are introduced initially and how they follow, linguistically, and then are able to be cataloged in a way that's organized in an understandable way? Or, do you want to expand it to the point that you're perhaps creating additional ordinance, whatever the subject matters may be? I'm not sure what you would want to consider necessarily for implementation, but having those implemented and follow, because Ms. Record, I'm not sure, was Municode suggesting they would come in and revamp the structure of the ordinances in a way that made them, receptive or conducive to publishing in the format that they utilize? Or were they, do you have any more detail about that?
Yeah, when I spoke with Municode, they would come through and understand, they would look at what we have. They would then also look at the town itself, where it is, and they would go through and saying that here are items that you're missing. This is what we think you should probably have as well. And then that would be going up, in front of the committee, commission, council, just saying yay, nay, no, we don't want to have this. Yes, we do. Or what else about this? Coming down to that, they would do all of that work and they would put it into the software and get it ready to be published on the website. They would do all of that work for that amount of money. And again, it goes through their legal review. And again, Attorney Swain, it would also have to go through your review as well.
Yeah, but Mr. Record, would they, I'm still a little bit unclear on whether or not they would, take a given ordinance and try to, I guess I'm going to use the word reformat it in a way that makes it have the, consistency of, again, I'm using a generalized term, appearance of all the others. Because one of the things that I think, to make sure I would ask you to make sure you're conscious of is the fact that due to the size of the village, it's very small and relatively, and with the arrangement that exists with the sheriff's department, over the years, and this has been over a number of years, frankly, if a given subject matter comes up for ordinance creation, application, and enforcement, the sheriff's department, if it's going to involve citations for potential infraction or criminal related enforcement offenses, they're going to want to have their own review or oversight of what's being proposed so they can at least tell you whether or not they're going to be willing to enforce it or not. And that's, sometimes that's going to mean if they're not willing to do something, that it's not much use to you to do it. Alternatively, I'm not sure, and it's because, you're a small village and I'm a one-man office, and the places that I tend to, deal with these matters on tend to be smaller in general. I don't know if there's I don't know how to put it, some grenade out there waiting to be stepped on that's not in place in the village's code that would allow someone to, take advantage of circumstances in some way that wasn't palatable for the village in general. And they're able to do it because the village doesn't have a, set of certain order. I don't know if that's floating out there or not. I don't do that. I don't do these things daily. So without doing it daily, I don't know if there's something like that to be, I guess I'll use the word worried about, or phrase worried about. I guess I kind of view it this way. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yet on the other hand, I do see some merit just in gaining uniformity in the appearance and presentation of the ordinances in general.
And that's what I thought this committee was going to do, was just make the ordinances more uniform, and that was a committee work. And I really don't, I agree with Mr. Swain. We're very small, and I'd hate to put any money actually into doing this, other than if we need legal counsel to explain something in the ordinance. But whenever you get these folks to revamp it, you're talking about a lot of money, and you're talking about municipalities that are much greater than we are. I'm just not sure that it merits it, and it would be an ongoing cost.
Well, yes, and that's what I was talking about when I was even talking with Municode. I'm like, we're small. I mean, this is where it is. And she said, yes, they do cover small municipalities to large municipalities. They cover Charlotte and Raleigh and Chapel Hill, and they have all these larger ones, and they have smaller ones. And like I said, I was just bringing this up to the council here to talk about this. What do we want to do? Do we want to go down this road or not? Like I said, when I wrote the charter, I wrote the charter to say, yeah, maybe we go down this road. Maybe we don't. And we just go through a committee, and we just have our ordinance like we have them posted out on our website. And we just put our own order to how we present those. Like I said, I'm bringing this up to find out what is the appetite of the council.
Jim, I'm just a little concerned that we're possibly creating a level of bureaucracy that's not necessary from a couple of standpoints. One, by establishing a permanent commission, that's charter is to keep going through the ordinances, keep updating and changing. And the other thing is that I was trying to think in the last 5 to 10 years, how many ordinances we have generated. I can think of the animal control ordinance. I think we had a non-loitering ordinance. I'm trying to think of any others that were even created in the last 5 to even 10 years.
The Unified Development Ordinance was created in 20.
Yeah, but that's a separate animal, really. I mean, because this doesn't address the UDO. I mean,
No.
I would hope the heck Municode wouldn't have anything to do with the UDO.
Well, Mayor, I think they might. I mean, in terms of codifying that and having it in the Municode format, I think they very well might have that. What they might do is create I guess I'll call it a chapter within the code, and that chapter might be the Uniform Development Ordinances, and then all the subdivisions that come along with that.
Yeah,
And then-
some municipalities have it and others do not. It's up to the municipality what they want to include.
Can
And
I
I'm
offer a little bit of information? Codification is something that North Carolina municipalities are required to do when they reach a certain population. And Wesley Chapel did do this a couple of years ago. We went with, we got quotes from both the companies, and we went with American Legal. And it was pretty expensive. I believe it was like $16,000 to just get our ordinances started. And then there's a fee every time we have ordinance amendments. Then they have to incorporate those into the codified ordinance. And yeah, it's like $20 a page and $20 a table and everything like that. So it's an ongoing cost every year. But in our case now, they took our ordinances and they, kind of arranged them in the order or whatever, the wording and format that they liked or whatever. But they really didn't give us suggestions that you should have this ordinance or you should consider this or that. And without that, we paid like 16,000. So I'm thinking that if you're going to get a lot of services, I would expect it maybe to run more.
Yeah, like I said, when I was talking to Municode, and Municipal Code didn't call me back yet. But when I was talking to Municode, the ballpark that was quoted was 6 to 10,000 for our size municipality.
And that excluded the UDO?
That was including the UDO and up to 300 pages. That goes by a page. If it goes over 300 pages, she said it may not cost a little bit more depending on how far you go over. But she was thinking by looking at all of what we had out there, including the UDO, it would be 6 to 10,000.
You know what, till we do this and we run it through Mr. Swain's office to make sure everything, because he has a history with us, they don't. I just cannot see spending the money for this. I just think the commission needs to work and get the forms in some kind of suitable order. I don't think we should farm this one out. And I don't think we should have a permanent commission to work on this. We don't have enough. We have other things that are much more important than this.
Cheryl, you mentioned that when town reaches a certain size that you're required to do that. Do you know what the
Correct.
population size is?
Is it 5,000, Cheryl?
Yeah, I believe it's 5,000.
Okay.
And we actually didn't do it when we first reached 5,000 because we had an attorney on council who felt that codification is mostly making sure everything is accessible to the residents in one place and all. And you don't necessarily have to go through a company like this to do it. But in our case, we did do it eventually.
Okay. Well, Joe, Jeremy, and Bruce, you haven't weighed in at all here. Do you have any thoughts or comments?
Well, my only thought at this point is with the size that we are, I don't see where we need to bear that kind of expense. We should be able to handle the ordinances and kind of make sure to set up the way we want them set up and not have to bring in somebody else and spend that kind of money just to confirm or put their stamp of approval on it. That's my opinion anyhow.
Jim, what was kind of your baby? What's just give us the Cliff Notes version of where you think we need to be, or what's your if you had the magic wand and waving it today, what would we do?
Well, as I was going through let me just give you where I'm coming from, and that's why I'm bringing this up to council to see what council wants, what their appetite is here. As I was going through, taking a look at what other towns had, or whatever they were coming across, is where when I came across Municode and American Legal Publishing Corporation. Again, they both have a very similar format, and which, like I said, this is Waxaw's here, and this is Weddington's. It's very similar, and they start going through. I was taking a look at, came across those and said, okay, let me talk to them. Let me see what they're doing, because this is their program. I think the layout of what is here, which is good. It lists things, it puts it all forward, and I think we should, as a town, do something similar as these others do. And do we need to go through this, Municode or American Legal Publishing? No, we don't have to. Do we need to do any of this? No, we don't have to. We have our ordinances that we do have currently that we need. We do need the commission or committee, whatever you want to call it, does need to put forth probably a nuisance ordinance and probably something else, and possible change to our current ordinances. I'm not saying there would be, it's possible, other than reformatting. And yeah, we do need to do something with our ordinances. Do we need to go to this level? Probably not, but it's a very nice thing, and you can look things up quickly in here. But you can also look things up quickly because we don't have that many as it stands today. So the question that comes to for the council is, you know, we've heard from Pam, we've heard from Bruce is no, we don't need to go down this road. But if that's where we need to, where they don't want to go, council doesn't want to go, then we don't have to go there. I just think that this is a nicety, not a necessity. Using Muni Code or American legal is a nicety. Does that answer your question, Jeremy?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I support getting everything in order, that's for sure. And I don't know, maybe the first step is creating a committee who then brings a recommendation back to council as far as what the next step would be. That's just a thought. I don't know, but Joey,
We voted for the committee last.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We did that last month.
We already did that.
We voted, right, we voted to have a committee, and I was supposed to put forth a charter. And when I was, like I said, as I was doing, and I was writing the charter and then coming and looking at everything that's going on in other towns that surround us, I wrote the charter this way. And I was bringing it in front of the committee, excuse me, the council, to say, do we want to go down this road or not? And
I can't recall us voting on you. I only recall us voting on to form the committee. And has the committee
Right.
met?
no, the committee hasn't met because from the last meeting, and it's in the minutes, that it would said that I would come back to the council with a charter.
I don't remember the charter bit at all. I must have.
we did, Pam. I remember Jim saying that, and I think we maybe lost a little bit. Attorney Swain, I would yield to you. I think we maybe just lost a little bit in semantics of a charter versus an overview. Is that a fair statement?
I mean, just a statement of the objectives and the responsibilities that are being taken on by the committee. I'm not sure that commission or committee, that the mincing of words of that, I'm not sure that really defines temporary or permanent application of it. It's just a matter of creating it and letting it, be known what the responsibilities are and what the duration is intended to be.
I would think forming the committee and writing goals and objectives, or at least goals of what you want to accomplish in the committee, is the first step.
Okay, so I have, from what I'm hearing right now, is that we have two council members that saying, no, we don't want to go down this road. And that's fine. We don't have to go down this road. So I can come back at the next council meeting with just a formation of a committee. That would be a duration of term to review and make suggestions to the council for change of ordinances and any inclusion of any new possible ordinance.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
looking at. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
Well, I was just looking at the minutes from our last meeting, and Jim suggested that a committee of council members and residents be formed to review the 14 different Lake Park ordinances. The purpose of the committee would be to update ordinances and to develop a standardized format for all of the ordinances. Then it ended up that Jim would provide a charter for the committee at the March meeting. There were no motions or anything like that. I think from what I'm seeing, we're kind of at a stage where you are in the process of creating the charter. Certainly Mr. Swain hasn't had a chance to really review it.
Correct.
And I guess there's some question based on the discussion as to whether we want this to be a permanent committee or a one-time committee to review the ordinances and put them in a standard format, which was a suggestion at the last meeting, or want to make this a more permanent standing committee. But I would agree with the councilman that suggested that we form the charter, form the committee, and then have the committee make recommendations as to where we need to go from there.
Okay, all right. So so we'll change this to it's review committee. We'll just take off this. We'll take out line items. We'll take some work, and Attorney Swain, you and I can work together to make this a committee, and we'll come back to the April meeting to establish the committee.
Sure, and I think just for thought process about it, Mr. Record, you probably want to think about how many members you want to have on this committee, and how many would be made up from the council, and how many would be made up from the community at large.
Well, we did talk about that at the last meeting,
Right.
and it was said that it would be 3 members from council and 2 members that are non-council.
Yeah, I think that probably needs to be in the resolution you're proposing.
Okay, yes. It's
I
written-
believe,
it's written in
the
this
last, I'm sorry.
one.
I believe at the last meeting it was talked about Joe and myself
Mhm.
being on the committee from council.
Mhm.
Yes, we both had interest in that.
What's that?
Yeah, I had interest in that too, yes.
Yes, yeah, and just, we don't have anybody from the community as
No.
it stands right
Well,
now.
we gotta get this one done first, I guess, so.
No, I agree.
I think going with it,
I think Jim comes back to us in April with a proposal for the committee and the members of the committee. Is that a fair statement?
I
Yes.
would say so.
yes.
Yes.
Agreed.
And then the committee, Jim, may recommend to council that we go with MuniCode or the American Legal Publisher, whoever. I mean, maybe they do, maybe they don't, but I think that's the next step but that's a step, maybe not the next step. That's just my opinion.
Thank you, gentlemen. Okay. All right, so this is tabled to the next meeting to come back to establish a committee
Okay,
with
Correct.
the charter. So,
right.
okay,
Okay, we'll have that on the agenda then for the April meeting.
yes, okay,
Okay,
thank you.
All right, sounds
Thank
good.
you, everyone.
Thank you, Jim.
thank you, Jim.
Stop sharing.
Okay. See if I can get back to, there we go. Share that screen.
David, do you see your screen share down at the bottom?
Yeah, I'm pressing that and nothing's coming up. There we go. Yep.
Okay.
All right, very good. Moving on to item number 15, Planning Board, Cherie.
This afternoon, I was notified that due to health reasons, one of our members of Planning Board is going to need to resign effective immediately. So we're going to have an open seat. I would request that in the April newsletter, we advertise for a new Planning Board member.
Okay. I don't think we need a motion for that. So matter of interest to council at this point. And something for Pam to put in the newsletter.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else on Planning Board?
No, we did not meet last month. We are planning on meeting this month as long as we have a quorum.
Okay. Moving on to communication information, Pam.
I think that I'm pretty good because I've got all the pool stuff. And I've got some HOA stuff and the swim team and what I think I'm going to put a variation of what Cusick sent to the homeowners about getting ready for spring and the shredding event and some other things. Does anybody have anything that that they want put in the newsletter other than what we talked about tonight?
Please remind people about their fishing permits.
Fishing permits, okay. And I'll put lighting in, Joe. I couldn't get it in last month, but I'll put it in this month, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, because
Maybe helps on
Joe's
that.
not getting the call we are.
Even though we put it in all the time, they
I
just,
know, bless their hearts.
they don't understand.
No, they do. It's easier to call us.
Anything for waste collection, Jim?
No, nothing this month for waste collection.
Okay,
Pam, as I mentioned to you, I'd like a brief paragraph about people being sure that they have their house numbers displayed on their
right, okay.
mailboxes and their house. Very
Do we-
important, very
Sure.
important for police and fire.
Yeah, Cherie, do you have the who to contact to get that done?
To get what done?
Put the to put the house numbers on the curb.
Oh, you mean like a vendor you can hire?
If they want, I've seen, well, maybe I'll look through previous newsletters. We have that somewhere.
It's
Where-
been years since anybody's done that.
Yeah. I mean, they just need to put their house number on the front of their house and on the
House.
mailboxes if they're in the alley.
Okay,
Um,
Pam,
the other
speaking
thing
of
would be
houses,
to ask people to please not block the sidewalk when they pull in their driveways.
okay,
We've had several complaints recently about people not being able to walk on the sidewalk.
okay.
Pam, if you have any room in the village, a lot of folks are going ahead and doing improvements on their homes before they've bothered to get a village approval or HOA approval, et cetera. So they've definitely got the cart before the horse.
Okay. We have put that out a lot of times, but we will do it again, that you
Yeah.
have to have approval to do home improvements. And
Right,
if you're not sure, check
right.
with
Just
the
contact the village.
HOA or with the village.
I mean, they can either contact Cherie at the village and she's inundated enough, or you can let them contact me and give them my phone number since I'm chair of the art committee.
Okay,
Okay, anything else on communications? All right, let's move on to council comments. Bruce?
Just nice to see sunny skies and not spongy ground for a change. Hopefully it lasts. Otherwise, everybody stay well and healthy.
Okay. Jeremy?
Mayor, I'd just like to recognize our staff. I know that we're about a year into these remote meetings now, and the fact that, to my knowledge, we've not had to close the doors at town hall. We've been open, albeit remotely for the meetings, but the town hall's been open. Our staff's been there, and they do a good job. I appreciate that. Again, I'd like to, as I mentioned last month, just recognize our sheriff's patrol, our two officers. The situation that happened earlier or last month, I guess now, it's just another reminder of how quick life can change, and that things happen in the blink of an eye that have ramifications for life. So I'm certainly grateful, as I know most of our residents are, for our sheriff's officers that patrol us. So that's it. Thank you all.
Thank you. Joe?
Oh, not sure this is 100% the right place, but I'm just going to say it. Lori's coming home on Thursday. I just want to thank everybody in the community for all the support. Everybody's been great. We've been overwhelmed with everybody's been willing to help and support us, and we both thank everybody.
Is she coming home for good?
That's what it looks like.
Don't
Right.
believe that, Pam. Don't believe that. I've heard it.
Okay. She's
No,
coming
it
home,
looks
she
like
gets
it.
tired of him.
Yeah, they're shutting down the hospital that she's working at, and she's the first wave coming home. She found out just shortly before the meeting started, so
That's great.
maybe there'll be a big party for everybody.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Jim?
I just want to just echo what Jeremy was saying, and also just say happy St. Patty's Day to everyone.
And Pam?
I don't know if this is the time to bring this up either, but are we ready to go to meet together in person next month?
I would think that we could be. Did everyone take advantage of the government officials being able to get their COVID shots?
Yeah, I did.
I got my first shot last Thursday.
My first is on Friday.
Okay. Jim,
Yeah, no, I have not had my shot yet. I have to
Okay.
schedule.
are you scheduled?
No, I got to schedule. It's on the process to things to do to get scheduled.
Okay. Well, I would think probably our goal is to shoot for in chamber meeting for April. And certainly, I think we want to definitely be able to do that for our budget workshop. So everybody, if you haven't had your shots, please try and get those scheduled. And,
The only other thing I'd like to say is what Jeremy had said about our deputies. I think they do a fantastic job, and I think we're very lucky to have those two individuals working in the village.
Agreed.
okay.
Absolutely.
All right. I would just like to recognize and thank John Hanson for his service on the planning board and board of adjustments. I started working with Mr. Hanson almost probably about 10 years ago now on the UDO advisory committee. And that was back in the day when Mr. Matheson was on the advisory committee along with former Mayor John Ross. And Mr. Hanson has followed that UDO all the way through to its completion, and he has served diligently and faithfully on the planning board and board of adjustments. And it's going to be a big loss that he unfortunately has to resign. So I just wanted to thank him for the many years of service. Mr. Swain, anything?
No, just I'll be thinking a lot about Mr. Hanson. He's a really, really super nice gentleman.
Okay, Sharif?
No, sir. Thank you, everyone, for your continued support as we work through this. And if you know of anyone that's interested in serving on the planning board and board of adjustments, please encourage them to send me an email.
Okay, Cheryl?
I'm good.
Okay, we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Jim has made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Joe has seconded. All those in favor signify by stating your name and A or nay.
M. Jack, yay.
Jim Record, yay.
Joe Scaldera, yay.
Jeremy Russell, yeah.
Bruce Barton, yay.
The meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.
Good
Happy
night,